Super excited to make this video. I'm gonna be going over how I generated over $10 million in sales using Facebook ads. So my name is Aaron McKeag. I've been a digital marketer for about 10 years now. My journey started in high school. I was 15 or 16. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I thought about the military. I have two siblings that actually ended up going into the military, so that was a viable option, kind of, but at the same time, I realized that I don't like being told what to do, and I don't even think I can make it through basic training. That was where it initially started, and so I know I was always kind of interested in business and marketing, but I didn't really know, right? Because I haven't done anything about it. I had just seen stuff and like, oh, that's kind of cool. So about when I was 15 or 16, I guess my first business venture was, I'm not sure how many people who watch this are gonna know what I'm talking about, but they're called Kool-Aid gummy bears. And long story short, it's basically mixing Kool-Aid powder with gummy bears with a little bit of water. You mix them up in a bag, and they taste really good, and they're sugary. And I would sell these at school. And I actually got to a point where I was bringing in about $100 to $200 a day selling these candies at school. I got to the point where I actually had 4 to 5 people selling for me. Because I could only sell so much, I would front load and sell 20 bags to my friends for $10, and then they would turn around and sell the bags for $20, so they'd make a $10 profit. And I'd go to first period with like $50 to $80 in my pocket already, and then I'm selling the Kool-Aid gummy bears that I have myself. I actually got to the point where I hired my sister, who was 3 years older than me, to help me make the gummy bears at night. And it would take like 4 or 5 hours, and it was funny because that was my first venture to learn like my cost of goods sold, my average order value, and that was my first introduction to actually knowing numbers. Fast forward from there, I met a friend in high school. He had actually made some money online, I forget specifically what, but we basically partnered up and we tried everything from a pressure washing business to website design business to an SEO business. Pretty much every business that you could think about or wonder to start, we tried it. When I was about 17 years old, it was my junior or senior year in high school. First of all, I wasn't going out at all. I had little to no social life, and I was all about that hustle culture, which now today I absolutely hate because I believe that you can have it all without sacrificing it all. Yes, you're gonna have to make sacrifices, but you don't need to sacrifice your family, your friendships, your health just to achieve success and get money. Back then, that's exactly what I believed. So I cut everybody off. And when I was about 17 years old, I found success selling SEO services online. So for those who are not familiar, SEO is search engine optimization. So when you type in a certain keyword or phrase on Google, why does one show up higher than the other? Obviously, there's immense value having your website or product show up on the first page of Google, seeing that I think it's like 10 to 15% of people, if that, go to the second page of Google. So that real estate on the first page of Google is super valuable. And so where I actually found success is selling packages and link packages to SEOs who had clients that they were trying to rank their websites. When I was about 17 years old, I was selling these services to the tune of about $20,000 to $30,000 a month in high school. It was crazy money, and honestly, when I talk about it now, it just seems crazy, but it happened. It lasted about 3 to 4 months, and what I did was roll that capital over into e-commerce. That was my next step. I got into e-commerce, specifically Amazon private label. I launched about 3 to 4 private label products, and they all failed. They all failed miserably. I learned lessons along the way. I lost a lot of money. I ended up losing my business partner at the time. Just a whole bunch of stuff went down, and I pretty much hit rock bottom. And I went to go work at Starbucks. I'd already made this money online, so I'm like, I'm not going to college. I'm not going to go get a degree. I know that I can do this again. I'm just not going to give up, because the moment you give up, you're out of the game. It's never going to happen. But if you just never give up, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I had already committed to myself. I didn't care if it took 20 years. I didn't care if it took 20 months. I was going to make income online successfully. And you can call it the universe, you can call it God, but my other longtime friend, I had met up with him while I was pretty much at rock bottom, didn't have any idea what I'm gonna do. And he was having success selling this specific type of product on Etsy, and he was trying to get into Amazon and didn't know how to do it. Long story short, I was able to help him break into Amazon with those products, and we hit the ground running. I think we did about 600 or 700,000 our first year. And over the next 5 years, we were able to generate over $3 million in sales with this product. And this is just the start of my marketing journey. I was learning how offers work. I was learning how copywriting works. I was learning how PPC works or Facebook ads, all these things that play such an important role into my next step. Now, I won't get into the nitty gritty of what actually happened, but that business started to slowly decline and it wasn't worth the energy to put in to keep it growing or to pivot. I needed to get in a different vehicle. And what I did there is I went to go work for this guy named Ryan Pineda. He's a influencer, social media guy here in Las Vegas. He's in the real estate industry, coaching. He does a lot. He started 4 to 5, multiple 7-figure businesses. So I started there about 2 years ago. I started in sales, oddly enough, just because I know I needed to get my foot in the door. I didn't care what position I came in at. My expertise was in marketing, but they didn't have an opening in marketing. So I'm going to get my foot in the door regardless. Long story short, I was able to get in as a salesperson. I was in sales for about 2 months. In my second month in sales, I was the top salesperson for the month, which was awesome. And this just ties back into my personal philosophy that if you're gonna do a job, you should do it to the best ability that you can. And that's exactly what I did. And the results followed. Another huge thing about getting my foot in the door, I had spent 5 years working with just me and my business partner, not really growing, not really getting around people who are doing bigger things than me. I was always just trying to figure it out myself. And what I told myself at this point in my life was I needed to get to a point where I'm doubling down on the phrase, your network is your net worth. I had no network. I had been working with the same business partner for the past 5 years. I hadn't expanded. Sure, I have made some connections, but it wasn't getting around the right people and getting in the right rooms. That's what I really wanted to double down with, taking this path. And a specific way that I doubled down with this is getting close to the people at the company that were in positions that I wanted to be in. Maybe they're making the income I want to be at. Maybe they have the family life that I want. Whatever it is, the fastest way to get what you want is to find somebody who has what you want and do what they're doing. There's nothing new under the sun. You don't need to recreate the wheel. And that was something that I struggled with learning for the longest time. I would go golfing with the co-CEO even when I couldn't afford it, just because I knew building that relationship was gonna pay off tenfold. It was kind of a blind act of faith, but oddly enough, about 2 to 3 months into the sales role, the media buyer at the company was pivoting and making a move. And long story short, I was able to use my relationship with the co-CEO to get my foot in the door into the marketing room before anybody else could. And I look back on it now and I did not have the perfect credentials. Yes, I had had success, but what they were doing was something that was a little bit out of my comfort zone, but I wanted to step up. I know that this is where I needed to be and what I needed to do next. And I'm just so grateful to this day for that company and for Ryan giving me a shot to actually prove myself. And here I am 2 years later, managing over $400,000 a month in ad spend across multiple clients, generating millions of dollars in sales. And it all started from me taking that leap and doubling down on myself, doubling down on my network, and figuring it out as I go. You don't have to have everything figured out. Imperfect action is better than no action at all. So long story short, I was able to start as a media buyer. This was about 2 years ago. And from then, it's just been the greatest learning experience, honestly, in my career. Being around people who are generating hundreds of thousands a month is just unmatched. Seeing how they move, seeing how they think, because you think you know what people do and how they think online, but you have no idea until you get around them consistently and see how they move, how they think, how they deal with problems, how they deal with setbacks, how they deal with employees, how they deal with everything. And so I was in that media buyer role at this company for about 1.5 years, managing well over $3 to $5 million in ad spend and generating over 8 figures in revenue for that company. Just this past December, I went off on my own where I'm able to serve more clients. And I'm kind of in the mix of, I don't know if I want to build an agency where I run done for you ads and I just crush it for people, or what I'm more leaning towards is teaching people how to run their ads themselves. I feel like there is a lot of business owners who get scared of the fact of a 2 to 5K monthly retainer for a media buyer or for a marketer, which is completely understandable. And I want to serve those people who maybe can't afford that, but know they need to get into paid advertising to scale their business. So fast forward to today, I'm managing multiple six figures a month. I have 5 to 7 clients that are absolutely crushing it. I'm generating millions of dollars in revenue for my clients. I'm learning every single day. I'm building my network. I'm building my relationships. And I just am so grateful and so thankful that I took the leap and decided to double down on people. Because at the end of the day, people are everything. So anyways, that's my story. That's my journey. That's how I generated over $10 million in revenue for my clients with Facebook ads. That was a very high level overview, not in depth. I just wanted to make this intro video as just that, an intro video of who I am, what I've done, where I'm at, and the journey that I've gone through to get to where I'm at. If you like this video or if any part of this story resonates with you, please subscribe, give me a follow. I'll link my Instagram below. If you want help with running paid ads, definitely hit me up on Instagram, DM me YouTube, or DM me at all. And I would love to talk ads with you, love to help you. And I'll be putting out a lot more content that'll be in-depth tactical information so that if you're a business owner or entrepreneur that wants to get into paid ads, you don't need to go shell out thousands upon thousands of dollars on somebody who you don't even know if they're gonna do well. And you can actually learn a skill that is gonna pay you for the rest of your life. Even if you're not a business owner, you're able to use this skill in so many areas of your life. So anyways, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Please hit the subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.